going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button and show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, we're here today on the seasonal server yet again for our last hero analysis. I know seasonal's over, it's been over for a while, whatevs. These are on backlog. Get over it. Alright, any hoodles. Today, we've got Amuvor. We were able to get him to 290. I had to sacrifice my E2 Gru to get it there, which is a sad face. You should never ever do that, ever, ever, ever on official or private or anything. It's a really bad idea. But for seasonal, it's just a month-long deal and it's over, so whatever. We did go manage to get 127 million spirit for that, though, so we could take Amuvor to 290. As always, we're going to read through his skills and such, go through his gearing guide, where he's good, where he's bad, and then do a little bit of testing with him as well. Alright, so, with that said, let's jump in. First things first, the active skill. Boom, the Scarlet Contract, no space. Okay, just one word, Scarlet Contract. Okay, no breath in the middle. Two random enemies take 300% of his attack as damage. If they're priests, they take 180% of extra damage. So if priests, get a little extra damage to them. That's only available at 10-star plus for some reason. From 5 to 9, not a thing. But, whatevs. It also takes 20% of the target's total health as damage if their health is higher. So generally speaking, bosses always have higher health than you. They take an additional 20% of their total health as damage, which isn't bad. He also is going to increase his critical chance by 40% for 3 rounds. So he boosts his ability to crit really well with his active skill, plus he does really well against people with really high enemies, and also high health, and also against enemies that are priests. So you're fighting like Vesas, Ormuses, whatever it may be, he's going to do a lot of extra damage, not to mention 300% of his attack as damage is a pretty high amount of damage. So I've seen him hit for 3 and 4 mil in PvP. It's kind of nasty. It is kind of nasty. It happens. But for nowsies, we're focused on PvE. That's why I built mine. So first passive here, Energy Oblivion. Again, no spaces. Whenever an ally uses active skill, it increases energy by 30% and takes 130% of his attack as healing. That's not bad. That means he gets extra skill casts. Plus, he has a little bit of self-sustain built into him for PvE fights. Not a bad combo, works pretty well, also works pretty well in the PvP area as well, getting extra energy when they use skill attacks. It's not a bad thing, it's never a bad thing to have extra skills. Journey of Soul, again, all one word, fantastic. I don't know why it just is. Increase health by 30%, speed by 60, attack by 30, and immune to silence. Immune to silence isn't a huge deal. It does, I guess, protect you from Vesa, but he's already faster than Vesa, so it's not a big deal. But mainly Demon Hunter is the big silence crowd control unit. I guess it makes sense, it's okay. It's not a huge immunity. Silence isn't super overpowered or anything. Whatevs. Any hoodles, the fast speed's kind of nice. Makes him a little quicker in battles. Last thing here, the Arcane Imprisonment. Again, all one word. I'm not sure why, it's just a thing. One random backline enemy takes 130% of attack as damage and decreases energy by 50%. That's kind of annoying. Okay, it works decent in PvP as well. Stopping people from casting active skills can save you from crowd control, burst damage, all kinds of things, and that's nice. In PvE, it just stops them from casting active skills. Again, never a bad thing. Stopping people from hitting you with skills does lower the damage you take. Works everywhere. Any hoodles. With that said, let's look at his gears. Now, I tested a lot of stones on my Amuvor, and the two that I found the most success with were flat attack and percent attack, and crit and crit. I tried the holy damage, attack and armor break. What else did I try? Holy damage. I already said that. Whatever. You get it. Those 4 stones, the big main 4 attack stones anyway. And I found that flat attack and attack hit pretty much the same as crit and crit damage in most cases. So I just went with crit and crit damage because I liked it. For the artifact, pretty much same story. Attack, crit, and crit damage here on the staff. Really solid for Amuvor. But class-specific artifacts are always a possibility for PvE. And for him, the damage was about the same. It didn't really matter if I swapped to class-specific or if I kept the staff on. I hit about the same damage, generally speaking. So, not a bad deal there. Works pretty well. If I were building Amuvor and I didn't have the Punisher staff, your first priority would probably be a crit-based artifacts like the Echo of Death. Even that little red, it's like the, what's it called, the Black Sword or something with crit and attack wouldn't be bad. Or obviously, again, class-specific artifacts could work, or the ones that give you a faction bonus for being dark. Do I have any of those? I don't think I do. Are you a dark? No, you're for light. I don't really know about the dark. I think most of them are like control immunity, and maybe some are skill damage. That could work. Whatevs. Generally speaking, I would say attack and crit's what you want to stack on Amuvor because that's how he does his damage. So, with that said, we got our enables set up as the official enables, health, attack, and resilience. Boom. We're going to do a couple battles like this and then swap to private server enables and damage check him and see which is better. Obviously, probably private server is. But where's Amuvor good? Where's Amuvor bad? Honestly, he's not really bad anywhere. Just going to say it. He really isn't bad anywhere. He works in pretty much every area. In the Aspen dungeon, he does work really good against priest nodes. When you get like Vesa and Ormus together, or like 4 Vesas and stuff, he is going to hit really hard against the priests, and he can one-shot them pretty reliably, and that's nice. However, when it comes to stages like Gurky nodes, it's a little more dangerous because Gurky is light, he's dark, so they both do extra damage to each other, and Gurky can nuke him to death. But like I said, he will work at Nightmare plus at E3 for breaking down priest nodes pretty reliably. That's what I use mine for. Anyways, other than the Aspen dungeon, PvP, he does work pretty well in PvP. Works better, obviously, if you're fighting priests. He does a little extra damage there, never a bad thing. Is he a god in PvP? I would say no. He doesn't have quite the skill kit to be like, oh my god, he's top dog in PvP. He's pretty good there, but obviously something like Faithblade or really any crowd control unit's going to do a little bit better for you. He is fast, he has that going for him, but he works in PvP. You still see him actually in top-end PvP teams on the private server because he is dark. He helps complete that light-dark aura for the crowd control immunity. He does get used in PvP in-game. It's thing. As for boss damage, that's mainly what we're going to test today because that's what most people see him when they see him. If we're like, he's a boss fighter. We're going to test. We're going to test him in boss battles. But like I said, pretty much everywhere, he's a decent unit. He's not bad really anywhere. But anyways, we have no Marauders as per usual. So we're going to do some Broken Spaces battles. We'll grab a couple of them like so. And we're going to fight this little light doohickey. Do we want to fight the light doohickey or we want to beat this guy real fast? Let's go ahead and beat this dude to death. Because why not? And we'll start fresh on someone he doesn't have an advantage against. Did I really get defeated by you? Would you just die already? Just die already. Don't put me through this. Just eat it. There we go. I want to test them both in the 450. That's the main thing. So, looks like this guy is still the same dude. So he's still a warrior. Not that that matters. We're not running a class-specific artifact on our Amuvor. We're going crit. But now that we're at 450, hopefully we don't die. That would be kind of... Oh, no challenge badges. Well, never mind. Psst, game. Psst. All right, here we go. Now we're ready to go. All right, so let's see what the basic vanilla E3 Amuvor is capable of putting out against the 450 Broken Space boss. Couple things to keep in mind here. I am using the Deer monster. Not the ideal monster for damage. Dragon would work much, much better with Amuvor because it has crit and crit damage as passives. Plus, you get holy damage in the active drop. Even things like the Golem monster with the 60% crit damage would be nice. Deer, probably not the best choice, but it's okay. Not a huge deal. He still does okay damage. Another thing to keep in mind here on the Broken Spaces bosses, unlike Marauders, they also have reduced damage. So they don't take nearly the amount of damage a Marauder does. For example, my Berea was capable of hitting 137 million damage versus a Walter Marauder, but in Broken Spaces, the highest I ever got him was, I think, 88 million. That's a 50 million damage swing, and it's because they have reduced damage. There you go. So don't expect crazy huge numbers here. I can't believe he just did a basic uncrit. I mean, he's got 40% crit plus a huge amount of crit in his actual stats. Whatevs, Amu, just let me down. Just let me down over there. Let's see what he does. Should be getting a decent amount of damage here. I don't know what he actually normally drops, I forgot. Oh my god, really? Another no crit? You've got a crit artifact, you got a crit stone. You're just sitting here dookie on me. It's going to be pretty low damage on this first one. We'll next do the next one, just kind of damage check him, see what he actually ended up hitting. Swap over the enables, do 2 more battles, and that'll wrap up the analysis for Amuvor. 1.42 mil with basic attacks, not terrible. It's not super great either, but it's not horrid. There we go, defeated. 131 million damage. With Amu dropping a 50 million damage drop. Not bad, he didn't crit a couple of times as well in there, but still. 50 million damage. Respectable against a Broken Spaces boss. So let's go ahead and do that again. We'll battle it. We'll battle it like so, but we'll just next through it this time and see what his damage is like. Did he go up? Did he go down? Etc. Etc. 61 million. So 50 million, 61 million, about a 10 million damage swing there. Like I said, we missed a few crits on that first battle, so that's not bad. And keep in mind, this dude's got a lot of reduced damage. I would say between 30 and 40% reduced damage on the Broken Spaces bosses. Probably gets higher the higher their level gets. So I would say versus a Marauder right now, he'd be hitting at least 100 million. I would say probably for sure. In that area, 90 to 100 million would be my guess. So there you go. That's the regular stuff and things. Let's go ahead and swap him over now to the private server enables that I would run. Now these stay pretty much the same for most damage dealing units that I use. The first thing I want to go for is Violent Attack. Increase critical chance by 15%, which means he's going to crit more reliably, and critical damage by 25% after round 4. That's not bad, especially since I've already built him with a lot of crit. That's going to get his crit chance even higher to where he almost never doesn't crit, and his crit damage is higher. Awesome. Mightiness. I'm going to keep that on there. Flat 8% attack boost, never a bad thing. And then the resilience, we'll ditch that off, and we'll scroll up, scratch my nose, way down here to spell control. Basic attacks increase skill damage by 25%. I really like this. Now, like I said before in other videos, depending on what you're fighting, you can change these around. If you're fighting Kamath and your Amuvors in back line, you might want the Light Will for control immunity so he doesn't get petrified. Makes perfect sense in that situation. If he's dying too easy, you might want resilience. Again, makes perfect sense in that situation. But for raw damage output, I find these three passives to be the strongest three that run together. You're getting crit after round 4, you got a flat attack boost, and then your spell damage constantly gets stronger as you fight the battle. We're going to keep the artifact the same here, no need to swap it up. And let's jump back into the Broken Spaces area, grab a couple more of these tokens, and get into the fight. Get into the fight and see what he can do. I would expect a decent increase in damage. He did 50 million the first battle right, and then 60 million next. I would say probably 70 and 80 million. I would say, that'd be my guess. I don't know. We'll see. I've still got a lot of these to do after this. I've got like tons of gems to blow here, but whatever. Starting out with a 4 million damage crit, that's not bad. Let's see what we can get going on here. Again, another thing he does is a spell control you might not think would be as strong for Amuvor, even though he's not in the front line getting hit every time, even though he does with these bosses. He does refill energy as enemies cast skills, so he doesn't get as many basic attacks as a normal unit would get, so spell control isn't as strong on him, but it's still a pretty nice amount of damage increase. So you can't be like, that sucks. 6.8 million damage there, not bad. He doesn't get quite the benefit from spell power as someone like Berea would, etc. You know what I'm saying? So let's watch this out. We're at round 9 here. Getting close-ish. A little over halfway. 1.7 mil with the basic attack. Not terrible bad. Not terrible. I'd obviously prefer to have a 10-star Sigmund going along with him here for extra armor reduction. But, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. We'll see what happens. 8.56 million. I'll take that as well. Not bad. Not bad, Amu. 1.7 with the basic again. Yeah, I would say he's probably going to get around 70, 80 million. That sounds right. It sounds good in my brain. Of course, you never know. You just never know. Wrapping up here last round. 7.95 millions. And it's over. So we dropped 151 million. Amu dropping 70 mil. So, as I said, I was pretty close. 70 million, 70, 80 million. Let's see what this next battle does. Just smash it out like so. And like, wait for it. So, there we go. 151 again with Amu dropping 77 million. So I was about right. 70 to 80 million. He got quite a big damage buff out of swapping to the private server enables, which I would say this is going to be about where he tops out at. You could take his stone a little bit higher to C6. You could use assassin gear, I guess, on him as well. So he does have some room for improvement. He does have all max tech. But yeah, that's not bad. 77 million damage for a Broken Spaces boss isn't a terrible amount of damage. And again, versus a Marauder, I would say easily over 100 million, pretty much guaranteed. Not an issue. So I would say Amu's definitely a decent unit because he's so versatile and you can use him in so many areas like PvP, PvE, even the Aspen dungeon to kill those priest nodes, which I would say is even more important if you're using someone like Gru to do your main Aspen push because he has no power against priests. If they heal, he can't kill them. So having an Amuvor's back up there is really nice. I would recommend an Amuvor build. From what I've seen from him, I really like him. He's not super great up till 9 stars, like at 9 star. He doesn't hit really hard against bosses, like 16 million damage. It's not crazy. And obviously in PvP he'll get shut down pretty easy. But once you hit him to 10 star and start going above 10, he really starts to shine a little better in my opinion. And I like him. I would give Amuvor 2 thumbs up. If you got some Amuvor copies, not a bad build, worth taking up. And again, for late game PvP, any kind of 10-star plus dark hero or light hero is going to definitely work well in a light dark faction bonus, which gives you a crowd control immunity. Very nice, which I assume is probably why you see more of them still in the lineups at the end, because they're getting that aura out of him. But like I said, definitely a good unit. I would recommend building. Works in the Aspen, works in PvE really well, works in PvP pretty freaking well also, which is surprising to me. Not a lot of heroes do good in both. He's one of them. Really good unit. Scrap this stuff out of here because it's going to drive me nuts. Maybe. We'll sit here and load and watch that for a while. But anyways, there it is, peeps. There's the Amuvor analysis. I'm really happy I got him to 290. I wasn't sure I was going to make it, but we did. 6-star gear. Got the Punisher staff. Looking pretty hot. The good private server enables. He works. So like I said, there is room for improvement. Of course, Assassin's Gear would give him quite a boost there. A C6 Stone obviously give him more. What's it do when you... Oh, he starts gaining attack. That's right. That's right. But anyways, not a huge deal. There it is. The Amuvor. Like I said, 100 plus mil versus Marauders. Pretty much a guarantee, at least from my build. Like I said, I'm always open to suggestions. If you guys run your test and you get better damage, awesome. I'm happy to hear about that, but this is what I ended up with. There you go, guys. Though that's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please make sure, smash that thumbs up button to show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. And tell your friends about it, because that definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.